Happy Friday, my loves. Who's feeling fun and frisky and ready to see if more people are assholes? Hey, babes. Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I am here with more r/am I the asshole stories. Yes, I am. Very excited to be here filming with you guys. I have a kind of a jam-packed weekend ahead of me. But yeah, so I decided to hop on, film this video real quick so I have something to go up for you guys on Friday for your weekend enjoyment. If you are new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, reading r/am I the asshole stories that have to do with crochet or other crafts. We'll get into that later. Sharing patterns that I love or would like to try, giving you guys gift ideas for certain holidays or other special events, every once in a while sharing a tutorial, all sorts of fun stuff like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. Such a cute little lovely community, and I love you all. Without further ado, let's hop right into these stories. The first story we'll be reading today is titled, Am I the Asshole for Laughing at My Niece's Gift? Side eye. Here goes. My 12-year-old niece is really into arts and crafts and recently got into crocheting. Before Christmas, she told me that she had a surprise gift for me and seemed really excited about it. I told her I was really looking forward to it as well and prepared her a gift myself, which was actually art supplies. On Christmas, when we had our family gathering, she brought me her gift and she was super excited for me to open it. When I opened it, I saw a crocheted animal, but if I'm being honest, it looked really, really bad. To give you an idea of what it looked like, imagine something from r/bad taxidermy, but in crochet form. Okay, I will not be looking that up because that sounds terrifying, but come on, bro, she's 12. Anyway, I couldn't help but burst out laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing no matter how hard I tried to suppress it, so I had to excuse myself to go to the washroom where I locked myself for nearly 10 minutes. When I came out, my niece was in tears with her parents trying to console her, and I apologized profusely and told her that I really liked her gift, but she kept crying and shouted at me, calling me a liar and that she sucked at art. My niece avoided me for the vast majority of the party after that. I tried to make her feel better by displaying her gift on my living room cabinet, but my wife pulled me aside later in the day and told me to take it down after the party because it was, in her words, really ugly and made her uncomfortable. Surprisingly, all the adults were very understanding of my situation, but I feel really bad because I feel like I destroyed my niece's confidence and I'm not sure how I can make it up to her. Wow. Okay. Well, I will say, yes, I have to say, you are kind of an asshole for laughing at this 12-year-old's gift. You should have kind of adjusted your expectations. She's 12. She just barely got into crocheting, and obviously, yes, I know that you weren't expecting, you didn't know what she was going to give you, right? So you open it and stuff, but I just kind of feel as though you knew she was making you something handmade. And you knew she was 12 years old. So, obviously it's not going to look like something fucking Picasso made, right? Wait, wasn't his art very abstract? I don't know. Okay, regardless. The point is, I think that you should have braced yourself for maybe this thing wasn't going to look like a beautiful, gorgeous piece of art, right? And, done your best to say oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love it, blah, 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 whatever, to make her feel good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the original poster has kids or anything, but it's when your kids, when they're little or whatever, and I understand she's 12, she's not super little, but when you have little kids and they give you drawings because they really wanted to make you something and, they don't know what else to do except draw you a picture, obviously, is it the best piece of art ever? No, but it makes you feel so good because that child wanted to give you something and you save it forever, right? And so I kind of feel like this should have been one of those situations. You got to pretend it's very pretty and you got to pretend you love it. I don't know. So here's where I feel I have definitely been in a situation where maybe something isn't that funny, but I start laughing about it and then I get a giggle attack and it's insanely hard for me to stop myself from laughing. I have been there. And unfortunately, the fact that this was one of those situations for you and you had to go lock yourself in the bathroom and you were there for 10 minutes, like, bro, that's a little bit, come on, get yourself together. So I will say that, like, you coming out and telling her that you loved it and that you tried to display it or whatever, like, to make her feel better, like, obviously I think just the initial reaction was already enough to kind of just ruin it for her, and I don't think she believed you, obviously, and you were lying, right? But you tried to kind of make it better, I guess. So I guess in that sense, it's good that you didn't just, completely intentionally crush her spirits, but you did, unfortunately. And so for that, I gotta say, you are kind of an asshole. And also, I think that your wife is an asshole too. Like, hello? You need to take that down after the party. It makes me uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up. Please, like, grow up. Obviously, he was gonna take it down after the party anyways. Like, he doesn't even like it. He would probably just pull it out every single time that this niece is gonna come over, okay? Like, just take a seat, Cheryl. I don't know what the wife's name is. Let us see what people have to say. This person says, yes, the asshole. She's 12 and she worked really hard on something. Man, it breaks my heart just to think about her getting laughed at. Poor kiddo. I agree. I mean, honestly, I didn't start working on like amigurumi and stuff like that until I was in my very early 20s. And when I look back at some of my old work, I am like, ooh, jump scare, right? And obviously your niece is going to go through that eventually as well too. Like, you're always going to like learn and grow. She just barely started, and I think her pouring her heart and soul into this and being so excited to give it to you, that's kind of soul crushing. Like, that poor little girl. And she's only 12. Like, this girl's probably in middle school. If anything, I feel like you should have felt very special that a middle school aged kid is wanting to even have anything to do with you, first of all, much less make you a homemade gift. This person says, yes, the asshole. 10 minutes? How could it be that hilarious? She made you a gift, told you how excited she was about it, and you just laughed at her. Congratulations on hurting her feelings and crushing her confidence. Unfortunately, yeah. It's almost like everything that you did afterwards, kind of too little too late, sort of. And this one says, not only are you the asshole, but your wife majorly sucks as well. It made her so uncomfortable she needed you to take it down. Genuinely, what is wrong with the both of you? You can't control your laughter and she's that uncomfortable by a crocheted animal? Grow up. That's what I said. Your niece will quite literally never forget your reaction. Yeah, and I think that is the worst part of it all. You know that whole like stupid saying that they tell you when you're a kid, like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me? Yeah, they fucking can. Okay? They hurt you in here, where it matters. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but my bones will mend themselves. But words make scars on your heart, and you think back to those situations. I can think of mean things that I was told, by people back when I was like a child, like younger than 12, like just mean things that people have said. I can still remember it. I can still remember the tone of voice that they used, and it hurts. So, I mean, obviously, like, I know it probably wasn't your intention to do this to her, but you did. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give my yes, the asshole. Next story. All right, this story is titled, Am I the asshole for not wanting to knit/crochet anything for my family? It says, so I'm 16. Wow, we got a lot of young crafters in this video. So I'm 16 and I knit and crochet, and I've made a few things, and I'm currently knitting myself a cape, and my grandma has been bugging to make my great aunt, who's dying of cancer, a blanket or a hat or both. They just want me to keep making them things that take a lot of time, and I honestly don't want to for many reasons, and one of the reasons is they've never liked me and they treated me like shit growing up. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, I have the text box up somewhere so that you can read it, but I'm having a hard time with this sentence, so I'm just going to read it how it's written, because I honestly, sometimes I'll like edit the sentences to make more sense as I'm reading, but I can't make heads or tails of this one, so. My grandma keeps reminding my mom him something because he's adorable. Even other family members that I haven't seen in a year have been sending me requests on what to make them, and my aunt wanted me to make her a big, chunky, hand knitted blanket, but I'm not going to do that because A, that is going to be expensive and I already know I'm not getting paid. B, I don't know how to hand knit. And C, I don't have time for that. My mom has been pressuring me to make my great aunt at least a hat, but I've told her many times before I'm not making any of them anything because I'd rather make her, my dad, and sister something, but not anyone else. But she still wants me to make my great aunt something, and I told my mom we could just buy a crocheted hat and make her think it's from me, but I don't even want to waste my money on something for her. But am I the asshole? I don't know if this is really a hot take, but like, I personally, I will say, fuck cancer. Like, cancer sucks. My mom is a cancer survivor, thank God. She's been cancer free for, I don't know, around 15 years now, which is incredible. However, I just don't think that her, being terminally ill with cancer, and she's like most likely not going to make it, as you said in your story, I don't think that that absolves her of the fact that she was very mean to you while you were growing up. So I don't think that that means that you have to make her something simply because she is going to pass. Honestly, I'm of the belief that like you don't have to have a relationship with any family member that treats you horribly. Like you can cut family off, honestly. And it might be hard when you're young, like 16 or whatever, but when you get to be of an age where you're legally able to be on your own, you don't have to hang out or have a relationship with family that does not align with you. And so, I don't know, I feel as though if you were already maybe 18, 19, 20, who knows, and you lived on your own, this wouldn't even be something that you would be feeling pressured to do. So anyway, I think that considering that you do want to make things for like your mom, your dad, your sister, but you don't feel like making things for your other family members, you are not an asshole for that. I think it's dumb that people expect that of you just because you know how to crochet and knit and stuff. Nobody's entitled to your work or your time or your effort, especially those who are not nice to you. Let's see what people have to say. This person says, not the asshole. Unfortunately, this happens all too often with artists and craftspeople, where formerly distant relatives start flocking around as soon as they think they can get a cute handmade gift for free, rather than the 20 to hundreds of dollars it might cost them on, say, Etsy. If you want to be spicy, you could say you'd make something on commission where they pay you the cost of materials and labor, but you're also totally justified in only making things you want to make. It's your hobby after all. Very well said, I agree. This person says, not the asshole. Knitting and crocheting is fun for de-stressing and because you want and like to. As soon as it's a demand or a pressure, not so much. I would refuse to knit squat. And to all the people who will say, but, she's dying. The aunt knew she was going to die sooner or later, and that didn't stop her from treating OP like shit when she was little, did it? Sow chit seeds, reap chit. LOL. I think that's like a fun way to say play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And this person says, not the asshole. I would give them your commission rate if they want something made. The general rule of thumb is cost of yarn plus $10 an hour of time to make it. Demand half up front. I bet you'll never get a request again. I like that. Yeah, I agree. You're not, and honestly, even if you are going to get paid and you still don't want to do it, no, you don't have to. Not the asshole. All right, last story for today, and actually this one is just a knitting one. I am starting to run a little bit low on crochet stories that I'm trying to dig up on r/mi the asshole. So if anybody has any stories out there that you would like to share with me, I do have one submission in my inbox, but obviously I would like to get like maybe a little handful to get it going. So anyway, my email is linked in the description of all my videos, so if you guys want to share any stories with me, feel free. I'm here. But yeah, I don't know. I might start looking into other types of crafts for these r/mi the asshole stories. In case I do completely run out of crochet related ones. And yeah, unless I start getting a bunch of submissions in my email that you guys want to share with me. So, and remember, like I said, they don't just have to be crazy bad stories. They can be good stories as well. Heartfelt, nice stories. Any stories that you want to share that pertain to the craft that you are into, feel free to drop them in my inbox. All right. So this story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Asking My Girlfriend to Stop Knitting So Much? My 30 male girlfriend, 27 female, is really into knitting and has been long before we started dating 3 months ago. At first, it didn't bother me and I thought it was cool that she had a hobby, but then I realized just how much she does it. Granted, she's not pulling out the knitting hook. The knitting hook? I'm sorry. I have to say something here. You and me, right? You and me. I'm looking at you. We are crocheters, okay? I know that some of my viewers knit as well, but like us crocheters out there, I swear, people who are like not educated in like crochet or anything like that, anytime you're sitting there working on something, how many times have you gotten, oh, what are you knitting? I get it all the time. And so I feel like because of that, people often refer to the crochet hook as a needle. I have never heard of somebody referring to a knitting needle as a hook. That's like hilarious to me. So knitters, I mean, any knitters that follow me, does that happen to you? Like, that's wild. I've never seen that. But anyway, sorry, let's get back into it. Granted, she's not pulling out the knitting hook at dinner or anything, but it seems anytime we're watching TV together or just hanging out at her place, she's always working on some project. She said she needs to keep her hands busy and it's like fidgeting for her, but I severely doubt that she can be fully present. You don't have to pay attention when you fidget, and she literally always jokes that she doesn't know how to count. Same girl. She claimed it's not all the time, but it's definitely more often than not. She argued that she can follow TV show plots just fine, but when I quizzed her on some details, she couldn't answer some of the questions, so I think my point stands. Then she said, if it's an important conversation, I obviously put my work down, but I think we have different definitions of what important means. I also told her that I would like to be able to cuddle and physically interact with her during TV time. She said we can still cuddle, but it's literally not the same. I want her to be interested in me, not some pile of yarn. This might be petty, but I think I might feel better about it if she knitted things for me, but it always seems to be bags or clothes for herself or like random squares. She did make a pretty cute toy for my dog though. That was actually nice. Anyway, I sat her down the other day and told her my perspective, and instead of being willing to compromise, she told me that I'm the one that's not listening to her and essentially called me an asshole. She's a great girl and I don't want to lose her over this, but also not sure what to do. Am I the asshole? Wow. I honestly read the title and was fully ready to be like, yeah, you're an asshole. Let your girlfriend do what she wants to do. However, I feel like I am missing a little bit of context though, because at the end there you did say that you sat her down and you told her your perspective, and instead of being willing to compromise, she told you that you're the one that's not listening to her. So now I kind of want to know what her side of the story is, because really all you said was, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm only hearing things from your perspective. From your perspective and from what I've read, I don't necessarily think that you're an asshole for this necessarily. However, I do think that the whole like, oh, it'd be cool if like she was knitting something for me, like, yeah, that is a little bit petty. You would have less of a problem if she's sitting there knitting while you guys are watching a movie, as long as the thing that she's making is for you. Like, come on, bro, grow up. But I kind of get it. I mean, I think like it's sort of the same thing where, I don't know, if I wanted to sit down and watch a few episodes of like a show with my man and he pulled out, you know, his Nintendo Switch, for example. He doesn't really play Nintendo Switch. He plays PS5, but we can't like watch TV and play PS5 on at the same time. It's like on the same screen. So let's just pretend it's like the Nintendo Switch, for example. If we were going to sit down and like watch a show together or a movie, let's say, like sometimes we'll have like little date night, movie nights or whatever here at home. and he was, playing his Nintendo Switch, or if he was just like scrolling through like Instagram videos on his phone or whatever, I think that would bug me too. And I know it's not necessarily the same thing. It's kind of like, doing something with your hands. Like, you are technically still able to listen, but I don't know. I think it would bother me a little bit. Like, why are you doing something else right now? Like, I thought we were having us time, And then the fact that he wants to be like snuggled up on the couch and stuff, and she's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving too much of the benefit of the doubt, considering I don't really know the full situation, I feel. But I'm tempted to say not really the asshole, depending on how you said it. Sometimes it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. I'm tempted to say not the asshole, and I feel like a lot of the comments are going to be disagreeing. But let's see what the other people have to say, so maybe I can be swayed. This person says, yes, the asshole. You absolutely can knit while maintaining concentration on other things, with the possible exception of any awkward or fiddly bits. Normal knitting just requires a rhythm to be kept. Leave her alone. Oh my gosh, I'm reading a lot of these comments and people are saying she's not even knitting, she's crocheting. She has a single hook and is making granny squares. And then people are saying like, and he doesn't even know what hobby it is. She's doing crochet, not knitting. Okay, I don't know how they found this out, but well, with that perspective in mind, I mean, to be fair, I don't knit, okay? I could never get the hang of it. It always seemed way too concentration intensive. I don't know. And it's just more like if you drop a stitch, you're kind of screwed type of thing. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't knit, but that's how I feel about it. If it's crochet, I mean, I can definitely like crochet while doing other things, like watching TV, for example. However, personally, I still wouldn't like, if my man and I are going to sit down and like watch a movie together, I'm not going to be crocheting during it. Like, that's our time. Like, I want to spend time with him. But if we're going to throw on a show that we've seen plenty of times and just kind of, it's like a more casual chill out type vibe, and my man's going to be kind of like looking through stuff on his phone or whatever, and I'm going to be sitting here crocheting, I think that that's completely fine. But I think definitely if I'm just sitting there making granny squares, I can focus on other things. But if we're like watching a movie, or we're like intentionally going to be like watching a show together and that's our time, I probably still wouldn't be doing it, I understand kind of the need to be like making your hands do something, but also, I don't know, Personally, I just wouldn't do it. I feel like if we're going to be intentionally having cute cuddle time on the couch, that's our cute cuddle time on the couch. I'm not going to be crocheting. This person says, yes, the asshole. You sound incredibly selfish and self-centered. You'd be okay with her knitting if it was something that she was doing for you, but because she's not, she has to have her full undivided attention on you at all times. You actually quizzed her about a TV show and her, according to you, not paying enough attention to the TV show. Pitiful. I've read a lot of jealousy stories on here, but this is the first time I've ever read about someone being jealous of a ball of yarn. I think that's where it got me too. Like, I don't necessarily think he's an asshole, but maybe self-absorbed kind of is the word, because while I do understand wanting to have kind of like together time and like undivided attention time and like let's just focus on the task at hand here, while I do understand that, it does kind of like rub me the wrong way a little bit that he's kind of like, well, if she was making something for me, then you'd be okay with it. I don't know. At least the way that he worded it made it sound like that. So personally, I'm going to say not an asshole, but definitely maybe reevaluate some things a little bit. And also give a little bit more perspective next time, because for some reason I just feel as though he didn't. I feel like the lead has been buried, I want to hear things from her side. And honestly, if she was crocheting and not knitting, like that's why you called it a hook. Makes perfect sense now. And here's another example of a what are you knitting type of person. Shame. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me today for more stories. I always appreciate you being here, leaving all your lovely comments, subscribing. You guys are truly the best. I'm getting super hungry. It is time for me to go eat some dinner, but I hope all of you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye.